In the United States, strange weather patterns shook the nation. Storms that appeared without warning, earthquakes rattling California, and wildfires spreading faster than ever before. Scientists spoke of climate collapse and irreversible damage, but many dismissed it until it was too late. Families watched as news reports revealed rising sea levels swallowing coastal cities. The government tried to assure the public, but tension filled every street, every home. Amid this chaos, a family of four in California felt the fear firsthand when the ground beneath them cracked open during dinner. Days later, they received a sealed letter marked with the nation's insignia. It was not an invitation, but an order, an urgent command to prepare for evacuation. Their lives were about to change forever, as they were chosen to be among the few who would leave Earth and journey into the unknown. The countdown to departure had begun. The family stood among hundreds in Nevada at the government's secured launch site, where enormous spacecrafts towered above like giants. People whispered, some cried, others argued as panic spread. Rumors circulated. Only a fraction of humanity would make it out alive, chosen through strict criteria of skills and genetic compatibility. The family, unsure why they had been selected, felt both blessed and cursed. Soldiers enforced order as supplies were distributed, but even those were limited. Each person was allowed only a small bag, forcing painful choices of what to carry from Earth. Tension crackled in the air as families clung together, fearing separation. The launch day arrived under a sky darkened by ash from nearby wildfires. The engines roared, shaking the ground, and as the massive ship ascended, Earth's last screams of storms and quakes echoed below. For those leaving, hope and fear traveled together. For those left behind, despair became their only companion. Inside the spacecraft, silence quickly turned to chaos as passengers adjusted to the strange pull of zero gravity. Children cried, belongings floated, and the hum of the engines reminded everyone that their survival rested on fragile machinery. The family stayed close, whispering encouragement, but unease lingered. Days into the journey, they faced their first crisis, an unexpected system failure in the oxygen circulation. Engineers scrambled to fix it as alarms blared. During the repairs, the family gazed through small windows into the vastness of space. It was beautiful, terrifying, endless. Then came the storm, a cosmic wave of energy that battered the ship with radiation and turbulence. Everyone braced for impact, gripping whatever they could. Lights flickered, metal groaned, and hope nearly shattered. Just as they thought they were safe, new alarms screamed louder. A massive anomaly appeared ahead, pulling the ship into its grip. The crew shouted warnings, but it was too late. The ship was caught in its deadly embrace. When the shaking stopped, the passengers realized they were no longer traveling smoothly through space, but plummeting toward an unknown planet. The ship's control systems had failed, forcing a crash landing. Metal screeched, fire erupted, and bodies were thrown against the walls. Miraculously, the family survived, though injured and shaken. As the smoke cleared, they stepped out onto alien soil, dark skies, glowing plants, and a heavy atmosphere that made breathing difficult. The wreckage lay behind them, with many still trapped inside. They searched desperately for survivors, helping strangers despite their fear. Communication devices were destroyed, cutting them off from Earth forever. The planet was alive with strange sounds, echoing from unseen creatures. Exhausted and terrified, they built a temporary shelter from debris. That night, as they tried to rest, distant howls pierced the silence. It became clear they were not alone, and survival here would demand more than courage. It would demand everything. The family woke to a world both beautiful and deadly. Towering trees glowed faintly in the dim light, their roots twisting like serpents. The ground shook with the footsteps of massive creatures, though they remained hidden from view. Hunger set in quickly, forcing them to explore the planet's resources. They discovered a stream, but the water tasted strange, burning their throats. Still, they had no choice but to drink. As they searched for food, they stumbled upon ruins, structures half buried in the soil, carved with symbols unlike anything human. The realization hit them hard. This planet had once hosted life. But where had that civilization gone? Hope mingled with dread. As night fell, the glowing lights returned, flickering across the horizon. They weren't natural. They moved deliberately, like watchful eyes. The family huddled close, realizing they weren't just stranded. They were being observed. Somewhere out there, something new they had arrived. The discovery of the Watchers turned fear into panic. One night, the family encountered them, towering beings with dark, glistening skin and eyes that burned like fire. They were not welcoming. A chase began, forcing the family into the ruins they had found earlier. The aliens moved with terrifying speed, surrounding them with sharp cries that echoed through the night. Every step was survival, every decision a gamble. Meanwhile, news broadcasts captured by old receivers revealed Earth's final collapse. Hurricanes tearing apart cities, floods drowning states, and fire consuming forests. Humanity's birthplace was gone. The family knew there was no going back, only forward. Trapped in a crumbling, temple-like ruin, the aliens closed in. The mother clutched her children, the father searched for a weapon, and silence fell. Then, a roar shook the ground. Not from the aliens, but something larger. The predators turned their heads. The family had one chance to escape. The roar became their lifeline. As a larger creature distracted the hostile aliens, the family slipped away through tunnels under the ruins. But freedom came with a cost. Exhaustion, injury, and despair weighed heavily. They had to decide whether to keep running or risk standing their ground. The father, realizing the danger, devised a plan to lure the aliens away, knowing it might cost him everything. He kissed his children goodbye and handed his wife a map he had drawn of the terrain. The chase was brutal, but his sacrifice gave them the window to escape. The family pressed onward, tears blinding their vision, carrying hope in their hearts. Just as the sun rose over the alien horizon, they saw it, a valley filled with green life, rivers, and breathable air. Relief filled their souls, but sorrow lingered. Survival had come with sacrifice, and Earth's lessons followed them into this new world. The valley became their salvation. Here, the air was clearer, food was plentiful, and the dangers seemed fewer. For the first time since leaving Earth, they breathed freely, not only in body but in spirit. Together, they began to build shelter, using fragments from their wreckage and the planet's natural resources. At night, they sat under strange constellations, speaking of the world they lost and the future they hoped to create. Memories of Earth's oceans, cities, and laughter felt like ghosts haunting them, yet they vowed not to repeat humanity's mistakes. In time, they discovered others had survived the crash too, forming small groups across the valley. Hope spread like fire through dry wood. A new community began, forged from loss but fueled by determination. Though Earth was gone, its people endured. The family realized this was not the end, but a new beginning, humanity reborn after Earth.